This is a community-supported legal education channel. Find out how you can support our mission at the links in the description below. We recently released a video about how Jed Rakoff, a district court judge for the Southern District of New York, has kicked ICE out of New York state courthouses. The ICE agency, the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency of the U.S. government, removes people or arrests people who violate or are accused of violating immigration laws. So illegal immigrants or immigrants who have committed an immigration violation. Not just immigration, but some other immigration-related law, maybe working while you're on a tourist visa or something like that. ICE has authority to arrest people under certain circumstances, but there's been some controversy over whether they're allowed to arrest people in state courthouses, because ICE is a federal agency. So coming into a state courthouse, the federal agent is on state grounds, is in the jurisdiction of the state. So the state should be able to say, you can't do that. However, it's the federal government, right? So the federal government can do whatever it wants to the states, right? No, the federal government cannot do whatever it wants to the states. The federal government has very limited powers. Their powers, those powers are broad within their own categories, but they do actually have limited powers. The powers that are not given to the federal government by the U.S. Constitution are left to the states, and that includes the courthouses and adjudication of the legal systems in disputes and things in the states. So recently, starting with the Trump administration, ICE has started arresting people at state courthouses throughout the country, and a lawsuit was brought by the state of New York denying or asking the court to deny, and eventually now denying, ICE from entering state courthouses and arresting individuals who are believed to be accused of immigration violations. The court order actually goes so far as to say that it can't even arrest people on their way to or from a court appearance at a state courthouse, even if they're suspected of an immigration violation. So I thought we could take a look at what one of these looks like. So here we are at the Northampton County Courthouse, which I've been to many times. I have stood right where they are standing. This is outside court, one of the courtrooms. This is, I think, on the left here, one of the attorneys that practices in Northampton County. Back here to the right is the sheriff's deputy who provides security. And then here in front of us is a young man in a light gray jacket. He is appearing in court, and this man who is sort of angrily pointing a phone and finger at the attorney is an undercover or plainclothes ICE agent who has entered the courthouse and is placing this young man under arrest. This is only 30 seconds, so let's play it, and then we'll talk about it.
Hey, you have no G28 on file? You're interfering with me.
Sir, I represent him. He's allowed to
Homeland Security. I have a warrant for your arrest for being unlawful present.
Where's the warrant?
Speak English?
Yeah. Where's the warrant?
I have a copy of it in my car. Sir.
No, that's not acceptable.
Sir,
that is not acceptable in a law. You must show him a warrant before you arrest him.
I have the right to administer.
No, you do not. Oh, gee, so now it's a warrantless arrest? You will.
Okay, so what just happened there, we now know is illegal. Now, it's not been ruled illegal in this specific case. It's been ruled illegal by a Second Circuit, or rather a district court judge who practices at a district court level under the Second Circuit. And here we are at the not in a court yet level in the Third Circuit. So yes, take that with a grain of salt. But this ICE agent is arguably arresting this person not only without a warrant, but doing so on state courthouse grounds, and that is illegal. Judge Jed Rakoff said that you are not allowed to do that. So first, why didn't he bring the damn warrant with him? Why is it out in his car? And then second, he says it's an administrative warrant. Now, by the way, one thing that I can give you legal advice on, ICE cannot enter your home on an administrative warrant. So if they ever knock on your door, you can confidently tell them that they can't enter your home if they only have an administrative warrant. They need to have more than an administrative warrant to actually enter your home. When Judge Rakoff says that that is highly interruptive, Look at how interruptive it is. They're literally standing outside the courtroom, literally arresting someone who's either just appeared or is about to appear in court, which interrupts his court proceedings and further discourages people who have to go to court from going to court because they're afraid that the federal government will nab them along the way. Now, obviously, this is a very controversial issue, so there are going to be people who believe that even this is a reasonable way to enforce immigration policy. I personally do not, but now I also know that I have backup in the law. The law says this is illegal. So, who the F is ICE? ICE is Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Just go to ice.gov. This is U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. So let me know what you think of that in the comments below, whether you think it's a good idea to enforce federal law on state courthouse grounds. I don't think so. I think if you take the immigration part out of it, pretty much no matter the crime, except for the worst kinds of violent crime, I don't think it would be a good policy to allow arrests to be made in state courthouses for federal offenses. So let's say that someone committed tax fraud. I don't think it's a good idea to arrest the person for tax fraud while they're either on their way or coming from or at a state courthouse. Let's say that person has a custody hearing. Let's say if they lose the custody hearing, they lose their children. But now they found out that the federal government wants to arrest them for tax fraud, so they're afraid to go to their custody hearing. Well, now some child is not going to get time with a parent because the person is afraid of being arrested by federal authorities because while they're on their way to the state court issue. And yeah, there's different ways to perceive that. Well, don't commit tax fraud. Well, they're not convicted yet. It's also a non-violent offense. So should we really implement a policy that indirectly affects a parent spending time with their child because they don't want to get arrested for tax fraud in a state courthouse by a federal authority? Yes, I realize it's complicated, but there is in there a philosophical or hypothetical perspective with which we can discuss, and that's what I'm looking for. Thank you in June to the $50 plus supporters: Joe Tyson, Wes Delj, Citizen of the Sovereign, John Steele, Gavin Barnard, Eevi, Kyle Mudrak, Spirit Bear, Jan Negrey, Michael Pearce, Daniel Perez, Blackleaf, Benjamin Hitov, Stephen, Ottah, Cute Grills in Your Area, Longreach Jones, Definitely Not Prenda Law, Ugly Grill, Shielo T, Josh Baker, Gregory, Rudolph Bescherer Jr., Kristian, Hellman, Jay Dixon, Ameknight, Oscar the Phrophet, and Hot Grills in Your Area, a new supporter who just popped up yesterday but already paid for June. And thank you to the June $5 plus supporters who are scrolling on the LED panel next to me and will be on the crawl of the videos and the descriptions below. I love you all. I'll see you in the videos that drop.